going on, everybody? In this unit there's only one more thing we really have to accomplish, and it's called graphing inequalities. Now we've graphed them on number lines, but they're not going to be on number lines. And all this, the point of this today is to make tomorrow and the next day go smoother. Okay, so you're going to be just learning some skills. I mean, it's assignment, I will grade it, but as far as the point, okay, you're going to have to wait a couple days. Now this assignment has 3 parts. Okay, now this part's pretty easy. Determine whether the ordered pair is a solution to the linear inequality. So we have y is greater than or equal to -2/5 x plus 4. What we have to do is sub this xy coordinate into the inequality and determine whether it's a solution or not. Now here's how I figure that out. Parenthesize each variable, and then I don't really have room underneath, so just bring your inequality symbol over here and you're going to empty out your parentheses. So on this side we just have an empty parentheses for the y. Over here we have -2/5, empty the x parentheses, plus 4. And then all you're going to do is substitute the 0 for where the y was, and then the 0 where the x was. So I line the symbol up. Over here there's no operation, it's just a 0. I just have to find the value on each side. Negative, that's a times and a plus, so 2 operations. Well, the times comes first, but that's 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. Now the sign has to eat the bigger number. The bigger positive 4 is bigger than 0. Okay, should be eating the 4. It's not, then it's no. Show your work, please. Don't just guess. It's not going to help you in the long run. Okay, next one we have 3y greater than 5x minus 12, so I empty my y and my x. I'm just going to work, so I line the symbol up and then I just empty the parentheses. Okay, so x, y. So remember to put it in for the right letter. It always goes x, y. So 1 replaces the y, and then in the x we place -6. Okay, so I line up my sign. Now over here that's 3 times 1. Well, that's 3. Okay, so that's my value on this side. Over here you have 2 operations. This is times, it's not minus. The parentheses wouldn't be there if it was minus. And then -12 would be plus -12. So we do the times first. It's -30. Then we take -30 plus -42, and that's going to be -30 plus -12 is -42. So I have +3 and -42. Now positive is always bigger than a negative. Okay, so this is my bigger number, and the sign does eat that number, so that's a yes. 3 is greater than -42. Okay, y is greater than x minus 3. So empty your parentheses, and we're going to substitute -7 for y, and then we're going to substitute -3 for x. So over here there's no operations, it's just a -7. Over here you have an operation between these 3. We see a subtraction sign. If you want to make it plus negative, do it. That's going to be -6. So what's bigger? When I have 2 negatives, the smaller one's the bigger one. Okay, so there's the bigger one. It's not opening up towards that, so that is a no. Okay, y is less than or equal to 2/3 x plus 4. So I parenthesize, 2/3 plus 4. So 6 replaces y, and then 3 replaces x. So on the left you just have a 6 value. On the right you got to do some operations. You have times and plus. You times first. 2/3 times 3 is 2. Okay. And then 2 plus 4 is 6. Now they're equal. Okay, is the line there? The line is there. Okay, then it's a yes. If the line wasn't there, it would be a no. Okay, now pause this video right now. Pause it right now and go to this page and do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. By the way, on this problem right here, you just substitute -1 for the x. There is no y. Okay, now back to the video. I want you to skip this page. We're going to come back to it And I want you to go to this page. Now, this is something you haven't done before. It's not hard to do. It's represent all solutions. Now, we see y is less than or equal to negative 2x plus 5. Now, the line I've already graphed for you on this assignment, which makes sense. That'd be MB, so you'd be at 5 on the y-intercept. Then the slope is down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. You don't have to worry about doing that. You will tomorrow, but not today. Now, the line itself are all the points where y is equal to negative 2x plus 5, okay? Those are all the points on the line, but the problem is now we have something else thrown in. It doesn't say equals, it says less than or equal. So when it has a less than or a greater than symbol, the line is there, but now we have to find all the points that make the y less than negative 2 times x plus 1. Okay, all the coordinates. You're like, well, how do you do that? Well, you randomly pick a point, but it can't be on the line. It can be anywhere. It doesn't matter where. I'm just going to stick a point right there. I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. How about that? Okay, randomly anywhere. It doesn't matter. Okay, now label that point correctly, please. Remember, this is the x, this is the y. So 0's in the middle. And you can number it if you want, if it helps. So on the x, that x coordinate is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm at 4. And then for the y, we're at 1, 2, 3. Okay? So 4, 3. Now what you do is do what you were just doing. You substitute those in for the variables. So you empty your variables. Okay, so 3 is your y. 4 is your x, so line up your symbol. This side you just have a value of 3. On this side I have to do the operations, so times and plus. So the times is negative 8, negative 2 times 4. And then negative 8 plus 5 is going to be negative 3. Now positive 3 is bigger than negative 3, but does it eat the 3? No, it doesn't, so you write no. Okay? So here's what you do. This point I picked on this side of the line, see this line right here? This line separates the no's from the yeses. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. The line I have drawn separates the no's from the yeses. So this point I plugged in was a no. Put a no over it. Any point over there is no. Any point on this side is no. Any point on the other side of the line is a yes. Okay? You highlight the yes side, you color it in, but don't waste a lot of pencil lead doing it, okay? That's me highlighting it, not crossing it out, highlighting it, okay? The line itself is where y is equal. If I pick a point on the line, they're going to be equal on each side, okay? To find that less than part, I pick a point on either side. Okay, next problem. Y is greater than 2x minus 1. Okay, so again, the line's there, negative 1, then up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and the line's there. As far as why it's a dash line, well, we'll get to that tomorrow. But you see the line, okay? It's dashed. There's a reason why. It's dashed because we don't have the equals to line, okay? But you don't have to worry about that. Your job is to pick a random point. I'll go right here. I'll go back 1, 2, 3, up 1, 2, 3. Okay, just pick, on your own you pick any point as long as it's not actually on the line. So what point is that? X, Y. Well, this is the X line, 0's here. Now since I'm moving backwards, I go negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. So the X is negative 3. Now on the Y axis you're still moving up. So 0's here, 1, 2, 3. So that's 3. Okay, so I put so I empty my variables. And I'm going to put 3 for the y. And then the x, I put negative 3. So there's no operations on the left, it's just a 3 value. On the right, you got times and minus. You can make it plus negative if you want. You have to do the times first. So that's negative 6. Plus negative 1 is negative 7. Okay, positive is always bigger than a negative. So this is my higher, and it eats that, so that's a yes. So I put yes. So all the yes points are on this side. All the no points are on the other side. So I want to highlight the yes side. Next page. Y is less than or equal to -2. This line is atrocious, okay? It should be here, but who cares? Who cares? I screwed it up. I apologize. It doesn't really matter for what we're doing. Okay, so I randomly pick a point, okay? Because it's not equals, it's -2. This would be one of those where you're missing the x, so you'd make the 3 coordinates and so forth. I totally screwed the line up. Totally, okay? Unexcusable. Now pick a point, doesn't matter where. I'm going to pick this point here, okay? It doesn't matter where, so we got to label what that point is. Here, I'll label it over here. If you like it better over there, then do it. So on x, this is the x, this is 0, then you're at -1, -2, okay? So -2 is the x. Now on y, it's down, so I'm at -1, okay? -1. So we empty the y. There is no x, okay? We're missing the x, that's fine. So y, we put -1. There's no operations we have to do on either side. We're ready to go. That's a -1 value, that's a -2 value. Now when I have two negatives, the smaller the negative, the higher it is, okay? So that's your bigger number. Sign is not opening towards that number like it should, so that is a no. So I put no, and then on the other side of the line that's drawn, you put yes, okay? Again, sorry about the crappy line. Okay, last one of these, pick a point anywhere, it doesn't matter where. If you only like positives, just stick in that quadrant right there. Just pick something here. So I'm going to go here. Okay, so the point I picked on the x was 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 for x. Then on y, positive. See if I pick something in there, they're going to be positives. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, now empty the y and the x out, and you're good. Okay, so the y is going to be 4, and the x is going to be 5. So this side has a value of 4. This side you got 3 times 5 minus 5, or plus -5. So 3 times 5 is 15. If I add -5 and 15, I get 10. Well, 10's bigger than 4. It's not opening towards that number, so that's a no. So I put no on this side, and then yes on the other side. So any point I would have picked here would have been no. Any point I would have picked here would have been yes. So you pick whatever point you want. It's just can't be on the line. Okay. You highlight the yes. Okay. Pause the video now and do 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Okay, now finally, go to this page here. Rewrite in slope-intercept form. The first problem should be -3x plus y is greater than or equal to 5. Okay, all you need to do here is get it in slope-intercept form so that the y is by itself. You're going to need to we already did this, most of you are pretty good at it. If you're the class of 2024, okay, you guys did a good job with this. Okay, so what I do, the y's got to be by itself. Now, if I want to apply a coefficient, it'd be a 1, okay? You don't really have to put that there, but you do it if it makes you comfortable. A lot of people like to do it. Now, I circle that term. It's positive, put a check mark. That means you're good. So you're going to add your 3x. Make a 0x and add 3x here. Now I line up the symbol and we got 1 times y. Over here we have 3x. You got to put that first, then the plus 5. Now you can divide by 1 if you want, but it really doesn't affect things. It's just y. That's going to be 3x plus 5. Okay, and then put an MB label on that. Now you're not graphing it, you just got to put it into the proper form. Now the next one, 6x minus y greater than 5. So y's got to be by itself. I would want to apply a 1 here because that's a negative 1. Now you can't have that be negative. If it is negative, you want to make the equation into the opposite. So I could make it positive, but I got to do 2 other things. Actually 3 other things now. The 6 goes to a negative. The symbol has to switch. The symbol has to switch too. Now when we were doing that before, it was just an equals. Well, you can't switch an equals, but with an inequality like this, you have to switch it, okay? If you do the opposite, that's negative, okay? Now I'm ready to go. So now we add 6x. We make a 0x and add 6x there. Remember, the symbol is switched when you apply the opposite rule. Everything goes opposite, okay? So now we have 1 times y, and I have x, 0 plus 6 is 6, and then the negative 5. I divide by 1. We have y, and then that's 6x plus negative 5. And now label your m and b after that, okay? Okay, I want to change this next problem, please. I'm changing the problem. Instead of a plus, I would like that as a minus, okay? X minus 4y is less than 20, okay? I want that as a minus. So the y is not by itself. I'll apply a 1 there. You have a minus, making that a negative 4y. Now we don't want the y term as a negative, okay? So since it is, I have to apply the opposite rule, okay? So negative, positive, flip sign, negative, okay? Now you add 1x, make a 0x, and add 1x to there. So we have 4 times y, so it's going to be 1x plus negative 20, and then we divide everything by 4. By the way, if you flip the sign and it has an equals to line, you keep the equals to line. Okay, I'm saying that one didn't have one, but if it does have an equals to line underneath it, the inequality, that stays there. Okay, 1 divided by 4 is a decimal, so we want to keep that as 1/4. Okay, don't write a decimal, and then plus negative 5. Then MB. Okay, next one, negative 3x plus y is greater than or equal to 6. Okay, I'm going to keep this one. My y term is positive, so put a check mark. We don't have to apply the opposite rule. So I add 3x. I make a 0x and add 3x. I've got 1 times y, then I have 3x plus 6, and you can divide everything by 1 now. Dividing it by 1 just would keep it the same. Okay, there you have it. Okay, MB. Should be ready to roll tomorrow then.